Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. We are in here. Come on in, people. Let's share this broadcast. Come on in. Come on in. Let's go. Let's get it popping today. Come on in, good people. Share the platform. Let's do our thing. Let's see. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what's going on. As you come in, go ahead and put where you from in the chat. We're gonna get it in today. Come on in. I know just not that long ago I got a couple of strikes on my page. So it may be a little interesting. Some of y'all may not even be getting the alerts right now. But we're going to figure it out. We're still going to get it in. We're going to get it cracking for the people. Very special broadcast that's coming up today. We got a special guest that's walking in the building soon. We're going to get it in today. So I'm going to let the people come on in. Let the people come on in. Y'all go ahead and talk to me. Tell me where you from. If you're in the building, tell me where you from. What's going on? What's going on today? Hopefully I had a beautiful strong end because we know it's not a weekend. It's definitely a strong end. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Hit one if you hear me. Sometimes I can't tell. Yes, ma'am. Good evening. I see you, Nikki. All right, let's go. All right, the people coming in. All right. So where everybody from? So we got VA in the building. We got VA. We got Indianapolis. Okay. ATL in the building. All right. Y'all make sure y'all like and share the platform. We gotta control these algorithms. You know what I'm saying? We gotta control these algorithms. Cause trust me, algorithm is nothing but math and science. We have to control the algorithms by the numbers. You know what I mean? So it's a numbers game at the end of the day. The more you share, the more this will pop up on people's feed. The more you comment, the more it will pop up on people's feed. So this information go out. Like I said, we got a special guest, so we're going to get it cracking today. All right, I see some of the people are in now. And let me just double check. Make sure. So we got still got Georgia up in the building. Got Las Vegas. That's what it is. We got North Dakota. We got some VAs up in the building. Okay. So I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and get started. As y'all know, we have the brother, Attorney General Malik Zulu Shabazz coming up in the building. I do want to catch y'all up on a few things because we want to have a conversation because some of y'all probably haven't seen, the latest video, not the latest video, but it's something that went viral not that long ago, about a week ago with Malik Zulu Shabazz, Farrell Gray, and the Fresh and Fit podcast or whatever. I'm not that attuned to those guys, but they have been hitting the news feed for different reasons of my interest. You know what I mean? And some things that we have to talk about. You know what I mean? So, as y'all know, we definitely gonna have a conversation, but we definitely got some catching up. Just so if you're not aware of what happened with that conversation. But let me go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go through the intro. As y'all know, I come from a church background. I like to play music first. So we're going to bring the choir to the stand. And we're going to go ahead and sing something. So the chosen song for the day, and it's going to be this song for a minute. It's by our brothers of United Front. We're just going to jam to it. Y'all can go get some popcorn, get your teas. I got my tea. And we're just going to make it happen in the right way. So I'm going to go ahead and play this intro. I'm going to come back. Then we're going to get things started. Peace to the gods.
Since O won't rat on O unless he gone in the membrane. Drank or smoked something that drove him insane. Since I don't do evil with plans to live like a true geezer, I won't succumb to tongue, gonna root evil. Got a reading from a Babylon, and he told me the path I'm on is like a Chinese banker that's lonely. So I cross T's and dot I's. Dead beef like a deadbeat pops. Pops that's not mine. I stay silent with the silence, silent round the salad. Evil green with envy, or green they ain't been around it. The movement's been co-opted, and the streets is not it. Stuck between a rock and a dyke box, and glad it's not thick. I could either chisel or sizzle my way out, cause gate route and blowing my brains out is played out. With mouths to feed and minds to free, I stay esophageal up and suckers mouths from me.
I thought that I could do it by my lonely. Try to get right, so many folks is wrong, man. So you know I keep it on, man. No hate for the homies, no love for the foe, man. We at war, you see, it's gonna take more than me. So what's it gonna be? You wanna be on the free. I thought that I could do it by my lonely. Master self, don't be a slave to these conditions. We was raised to be forgiven, not to ourselves, but those who changed us for them digits and rearranged it in prisons, projects, and a crack epidemic. So I'm raised first and last, even after we finish. Our power black be a menace to anyone attacking our women. We smashing the limits, still standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. Keep our heart from getting colder. If you feel me, I share you. It's betrayal every day though. More hollows than halos, so I stay low, swing low. Sweet chariot. I'm gonna ride the liberation train, go and see Harriet. Ain't no fearing, take confidence and we wearing it everywhere we is. Stick to the script or flip the narrative. The symbols predicted our dominance. Me and my conglomerates. I thought that I could do it by my lonely. Try to get right, so many folks is wrong, man. So you know I keep it on, man. No hate for the homies, no love for the foe, man. We at war, you see, it's gonna take more than me. So what's it gonna be? You wanna be on the free. I thought that I could do it by my lonely.
Now see, nothing makes me angrier when we talk about our civil rights and what we've missed. But here comes the Asians in to join us. Here comes the Latinos in talking about their civil rights. Here comes white women in talking about theirs, the Mexicans, all of these people. And I don't know if some of you are very, very young, but in my experience growing up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I never knew that anybody who was sent to the back of the bus because she was a white woman. Nobody was sent to the back of the bus because they were homosexual. Nobody was sent to the back of the bus because they were Asian and Latin. They were sent to the back of the bus because their faces were black. And now all of these groups are wanting to come in now and take the things that owe us. And some of our leaders stand up and say, oh, we're all one. We should include everyone that's going in. Every time I hear them do that, I just want to pick up a sock, a shoe, or something and throw it at the television.
I thought that I could do it by my lonely. Try to get right, so many folks is wrong, man. So you know I keep it on, man. No hate for the homies, no love for the foe, man. We at war, you see, it's gonna take more than me.
Support black media. Peace to the gods.
See, this is why I'm not mistaken by these leaders. See, anytime, first of all, you can't lead me when you call an organization rainbow because there's no black in a rainbow, as you all always know.
All right, peace to the gods. We back. And as I say, go ahead and share this platform. You know, let's change some of the algorithms. Let's get people into this live feed so we can share this conversation together. And as I said before, I have a church background, so I want you to look to the left, look to the right, and go ahead and greet your brother and sister that's in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Let's communicate. Let's talk to each other. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and share our thoughts, our minds. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for, to really get it in. So I also need your participation because some of us got to be caught up to what's going on. Maybe some of y'all don't know the characters that Malik Zulu Shabazz is about to address. So just hit 1 in the chat if you would like to get caught up. I could play a little bit of that video. Just hit 1 if you want me to play a little bit of that video. Hit 2 if you just want me to go ahead and bring Malik Zulu Shabazz in, and we could get it in from there. So hit 1 if you want to do a little recap of the video, because I could definitely play it. Hit 2 if you want me to go ahead and bring the brother right on in. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to catch everybody up just in case. Just in case, because I do have the video loaded. Let's see. Looks like it's probably a delay, so we hitting 2. A lot of us hitting 2 already. All right. Yeah. Okay. I like that. So you only have a 1-1s. Let me see. Let me see what else we got. No. Somebody hit 7. I said 1 or 2, brother. 1 or 2. Already. But so I tell you what, y'all could go ahead and see it for yourself. We're gonna go ahead and bring the brother in. So as we say, we have special brother, Attorney General. I say Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz. It's up in the building. It's one of the OGs, been in the game for a long time, for a minute. If I could say, when it comes to this Black Power movement, this is definitely one of the brothers that I think of, and that's for sure. You know what I mean? So I definitely look up to this brother. Peace to the guys. Welcome to the platform. Appreciate you being here, bro.
Yeah. My honor to be on here with you, OC the Great. It's heard a lot about you, and honored to be in this forum. And I know many, I guess, have heard maybe about me, but it's good to be here so we can talk direct.
Absolutely. And we definitely got some things to talk about, And I know you have a few things going on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, for example, let's talk about this first, because we got to get things like this, into people's hands, into people's eyes. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so the book in college, definitely everybody go pick up that book if you don't have it already. I actually grabbed 2 copies, but I gave 1 to somebody else, my own personal copy. You know what I mean? So it's a very good book.
Thank you.
Definitely crack that open and let's get to it. Let's get to that reading, get some of that knowledge, So I love Khalid Muhammad. You know what I mean? That's one of my favorites. You know what I mean? So had to pick that up. And I also know you have a few other things that's about to happen, about to go on, but I know.
Well, I want to say, let's stop here for a minute. Knowledge and reading is very important in our movement. I think over the last few years, just watching how the movement goes, and you see a lot of soldiers go up, a lot of soldiers go down, and sometimes we wonder, well, why is there so much confusion in this Black movement? A lot of it has to do, my brother, with lack of study, lack of education, and lack of knowledge of our history. So what we do is we constantly repeat the same mistakes and errors, or we're running out here without guidance. So I took time, a couple of years out of my life, and I put this 515-page, 940 footnote book together so that people will know the history of this movement, the Black militant movement, the history of the armed movement in the modern era, and of course Khalid Muhammad, the Black Power general. And part of my story is in here, at least 13 years of my life. So you get a glimpse of what kind of person I am by how I served and helped Mr. Khalid Muhammad.
Absolutely. Beautiful thing. So,
yes, sir.
And a lot of us should know about our brother, late great brother, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and the things that he did for our people. So we want to go ahead and get right into it, my brother. So you was on our good brother, speaking of Khalid Muhammad, our good brother Ferris Gray. I think it was his podcast or show on Instagram or something like that. And from what I understand, because I didn't see the full broadcast as it was going on, I just seen clips of you actually talking to the Fresh and Fit brothers. So if you can go through that, and kind of describe exactly what happened.
Well, what I want to do is give honors to Brother Farr Gray, Khalid Muhammad's son. because it was on his show where the big controversy blew up between Fresh and Fit and myself. But it was at Farrah Gray's invitation. You know, he had Fresh and Fit on the show. Well, who is Fresh and Fit? Many of y'all saw the clips. Fresh and Fit are these podcast hosts. One brother's from Sudan, and Fit, and the other brother Fresh. And basically they were just dissing black women and basically throwing down against black women and explaining about how much they preferred white women over black women, and that you know, it's typically that black women were ghetto, or you know, and basically beneath them and not of their preference, and basically they prefer white women. So he wanted me to come on there and deal with them. And you know what I did was I had no idea that this would blow up or go viral. I'm not a social media man. I don't do things to be on social media. They say I'm behind the times or whatever. So anyway, I just made a point that I was going to kick their behinds when I went on here, that I was going to do like Khalid Muhammad said, and I was going to nail them. If I had this chance to nail them, I was going to nail them. So in the spirit of my teacher, I used the teachings of my teacher, and I basically I went in on them, and I told them that that they just loved them some cracker women, and that all that they was after was some blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pale-skinned, buttermilk complexion, ironing board backside. Right. I left out. I should have said Miss 6 o'clock, no thrills, no frills, Caucasoid, mutanoid, subject to have the itch, white cave bitch. You know, those are the teachings of my teacher. And I knew that I had to drop that on them, like he would drop it on them. And it burned their behinds up. And a few other things I said. I called the brother Fit from Sudan because of the way he was acting. I called him the Sambo from Sudan, because he's a Sambo all the way from Africa, talking about he would never date an African woman. But we here who are scientists on this show, we know that there's been a split in the Sudanese culture over the years. And when Islam comes to the Nubian homeland area, it's the white Arab who has traditionally oppressed the black African there, and that there's a mixed breed. Like that Sambo from Sudan, there's a mixed breed who looks down their nose at blacker or dark-skinned women. So I called him the Sambo from Sudan. The other brother, Fresh, he talking about, well, he's on a yacht with his white women, Kathy and Heather. He's on a yacht and talking about he don't like black women. And I'm like, damn, brother, you look like the epitome of blackness. I mean, you know, he got that head. He looked like an Olmec head. You know what I mean? He looked like a walking, which is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Really is a compliment.
Thing. But for you to be that classic black, looking like a black Olmec head or statue, and to be talking about how you don't like black, I mean, they needed to be chastised. And I'm glad that the Creator blessed me to get in on their behinds. And I thank Farrah Gray for the door.
Yeah. And it seems to go viral, you know, that moment there, you know. So what do you
Somebody got to stand up for black women. Let's put it to you like somebody got to stand up and speak for the sisters, you know. I mean, we just get sick, brother. Every time I'm looking on this damn screen here, and every time a black man makes it and becomes a millionaire, multi-millionaire, he's got to get some goddamn white woman by his side or on his arm, and it just keeps sending the wrong message that the black woman is not good enough when she's the greatest thing of all time.
So, I mean, apparently it's a large audience for their type of content. Like, what do you think that is? You know what I mean? What type of people will follow that type of content, or will follow these people, you know, for entertainment or whatever? Like,
well, the Holy Quran says that this is a world of sport and play. So just in general, you know, we serious about liberation. You serious about liberation, but everything out here is sport and play. I mean, you know what I mean? On Instagram, I mean, it's just all sport and play, brother. And we men too. I mean, we human. I mean, we into entertainment. We into relaxing. I mean, we human. But I mean, it's people out here that's got all kind of followings. And I can't understand why the hell they have a following, but they have all kind of followers. This is a world of sport and play. This is not a world of liberation. This is not a world of dealing with the serious problems of life and death for the black man. People want to be entertained, and many times they want to be deluded. And, you know, my position is we can't afford too much entertainment and too much delusion, because they was playing classic music to the Jews while they was being herded off in boxcars to the gas chambers in Germany. I mean, we for entertainment, but I mean, we too much in the entertainment. I mean, straight up. But I mean, they got a following, and so they're fair targets. They're fair targets.
It just seems to be a niche audience, and for whatever reason, there's sponsors that will pay for that type of content, that will literally throw bags at people just to say certain things about our sisters, you know. And I don't know these certain companies, but I feel like that's very interesting, you know, because if you talk about black love, you don't get no real bags for that, you know.
I'll tell you this movement, like I told them, it was no hype. I said, and we used to say this in the past, Khalid Muhammad taught me this, and I believed in it, that one day this movement will get power and strength enough that we will come and snatch some of these goddamn entertainers and athletes, and I mean entertainers and these other Sambos and Coons. We will come and snatch them. Our movement will come and snatch them off of the stage. I said that on the show, but it wasn't just rhetoric. What I'm saying, my brother, is that a movement, this movement we are part of. I'm talking about this militant movement, this black militant, this whatever, the NFAC, New Black Panther Party, these black folks with guns, right? This movement one day will start pushing its weight around in the entertainment industry. One day, the power of its military power will be levied in the cultural arena and in the arena of athletes and entertainers, and Fresh and Fits will be challenged on that. It'll be more than just Malik Zulu's denouncing them and it going viral. That this movement's gonna get power, and radio stations and Spotify's and Apple's and other Uncle Tom's. I mean, this movement here that we're a part of, if it's my wish and my dream, we will start rolling on them and rolling some heads, to change the dynamic. And that's where I think this Black Power thing is going. Make a major change in this music and entertainment field and dealing with these coons and these toms.
Absolutely. You know, I was having a conversation, just speaking of that niche, because there's a whole flip side to it. I think there's also like sisters that's out there, you know, talking against black men, you know, saying how they don't want to date black men, and for whatever reason, you know. So I was talking to a brother, and the conversation went, because I think it was an incident of I forget, I'm bad with names, but it was an incident of a sister that actually, let's say she was killed, allegedly, you know, she was killed by a white man off of a date nap, you know what I mean? So she met him on the date nap, and she just ended up dying, you know, but people actually found out some information about her, that she was actually talking down to black men, you know. And this brother I was speaking to, it was like, should we save these type of black women that talk down to black men, or like what is your ideology when it comes to, you know, that type of scenario?
We must, my dear brother OC, we must be patient with black women because they've been patient with us, and we must understand that as the white man has brought us into captivity, that his first objective is to decapitate and to destroy the black man, and then go after our woman's mind, and certainly her behind. He has gone after, and he has taken our woman from us. And in many instances, his society, his world, and he, the white man himself, have turned the black woman against us after crushing and dominating the man. And so because the black man has been stripped, and because he is not at this point in time, the provider that he should be, and the man he should be, and the strong force he should be, he comes under disrespect from white society, and comes from disrespect from the black woman who has been brainwashed by this white society. Furthermore, we have a certain feminist movement that have at some points through venues such as Black Lives Matter and others come to dominate the mentality and the thinking of black women. And for a few years solid, they began to put all kind of strange thoughts into the minds of black women, into the black family, and even our black children and our black babies. They began having to teach us and to believe that no man is needed on the scene, no black man is needed in the household, that you don't have to even be male or female, you can be binary. You're not he or she, you can be it or they. These are strange, foreign, non-African ideas that have been put into our people from either a feminist or a pro-homosexual culture that is all about attacking and making the black man the bad guy. So if a sister comes up in a certain situation and saying some bad things about black men, we have to take it all in context that she may have been brainwashed or influenced by all of these different forces coming against her. And also she may have had some negative experiences with the black man who has lost a knowledge of self. So we'd be a little patient with the black woman. But we say right now, look, y'all must understand that the black man has gotten a bad rap. I mean, they give us such a bad rap. Y'all, black fathers don't raise their babies. Yes, that's totally crap. I mean, I just see legions of black fathers fighting for their babies. As an attorney, my phone is always ringing with a black father trying to get his babies, but the mama may be mad at him for whatever reason. Not in all cases, but in many cases. I found that the narrative that the black man is a deadbeat father to be false. And the black women, you know, it's just what we got to do is, since Black Lives Matter is shaking and getting weak, and the feminist movement is getting weak, and black power's on the rise, we got to start getting, our queens must understand that the black man himself, you must know who he is. He is the king of the planet Earth. He is a ruler by nation. He is the God of the universe, and all of the positive things that must be expressed, taught, and embraced by our culture and our women about black men. It's that time now, because these other false teachings are going to the side. So we hope not to see too many more sisters talking about that. And then brothers like you, us, these black organizations, I'm talking about the strong ones, I'm talking about all these black groups out here. We can make a real difference in the image of the black man. We can, if we do our work right in 2022. We can change our image and our reality. That's right.
That's right. And I would say, you know, that's the same, you know, flip side to it. You know what I mean? Because our sisters, believe it or not, have to be patient with us as well. You know, so it's a systematic thing that's going on. That's attacking us on all areas. You know, on all areas, you know what I mean? So it's a propaganda scheme. You know, the government come in and they put these different so-called benefits in a way to separate a strong black family, you know, that will actually target a black man and call it a real black man weak, you know, and take him out of his natural ways and put these other things in place to really separate the family in many different ways. So I think a lot of us know some of this, and we know these things are happening in the back of our minds. We just have to do better, be patient with each other, but just overall do the right thing. But like you said, these organizations, we have to do right. You know, we have to share examples. And then even platforms like this, other black media platforms, put out what I would call a proper propaganda. You know, basically send off a balance. You put in the right propaganda to fight off the white propaganda. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's very important, because a lot of times we end up being what we see, you know. So we have to push out a lot of strong medias and podcasts or whatever that's going on, you know. And by the way,
build our own image and our own. If we don't push our own narrative and attack with everything we can, they'll eat us alive. CNN will eat us alive. I mean, they'll have you thinking that the strongest black man out here is Don Lemon or Donna Lemon. You know what I mean? I mean, none of them are for us being strong. And so this is all, but I'm happy that we have venues like this and other venues to push our own narrative. And I believe that we will break through, and we are breaking through.
Real talk, real talk. So, you know, and I would like to say you're doing a lot of great things, because one thing that I do see is the fact that you are able to really push unity, you know. So one thing that I was actually a part of was the Tulsa, Oklahoma, which I would like to call it the experience, with the different movements coming together. Number one, this is the very first time, and I'm gonna keep 100, because I was in the new Black Panther Party out in Seattle. You know, I was a general out in Seattle, Tacoma. Then I came to St. Louis and became a chief of staff in St. Louis. So we heard a lot of things about these different groups, you know, outside of the new Black Panther Party. You know, how one don't really get along with the other groups, and so on and so forth. But to see all these different groups being put together and all for one cause, I thought that was a beautiful thing, you know, and it was definitely needed. But go ahead. Yeah,
Tulsa, Oklahoma, on May 29th, 2021, which was initially spearheaded by the leader of the Elmer Geronimo Pratt Gun Club, Brother Nick Bezel. And I was invited into it by Brother General Babu Omawale, the leader of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. And so, you know, on behalf of the new Black Panther Party, you know, I was asked to take the helm after the passing of Hashim Nzinga. And as you know, from being in the new Black Panther Party, even since I was the chairman in 2013, there have been a lot of splits and divisions and stuff that you probably encountered. And some of these splits and divisions have led to the emergence of these other groups. A lot of these other groups have some form or way their former new Black Panther something.
Right.
And so since the passing of my great brother, and I've been back at the helm, what I've done is use all of my experience and wisdom to try to bring about the vision of a Black or African united front, or a Black Panther united front, or a Black self-defense united front, or anything that we could do to counter the counterintelligence objectives of the government. COINTELPRO and Hoover said that our job is to prevent the coalition of Black nationalist organizations from coming together, to prevent militant Black nationalists from coming together, because that would be a potential Mau, says J. Edgar Hoover. So most of what I do is based on countering what the enemy has done. So we're going about building and repairing these relationships and solving these issues. And we get to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that was a watershed moment when you had hundreds and hundreds of armed Black people marching. But more significantly, you had many different commanding officers settle their differences and come together. And that was historic. And after that, the government went to work to destroy that. And many of the wounds and the internal diseases that we have erupted on the scene and threatened to derail our movement. But we have been successful. What I'm happy to tell you is that unity that you experienced in Tulsa, it's real and it's getting better right now. And I'm honored to use, you know, I guess my 33 years of experience. You know, I've been in this since I was a teenager. My main goal is to, you know, people might get it wrong. What is he trying to do? He's trying to take over. No, I'm not trying to really do that, brother. I was the chairman for 13 years. I serve now really out of emergency. What I'm doing right now is looking out for the whole movement. I want to make sure that that all of the Black strong groups survive. I want to make sure that we all come together. I want to make sure that your time and your life ain't wasted with a bunch of mess and confusion. And what we're bringing about now is a beautiful thing with all of the organizations like they did in Tulsa. We're coming together And Juneteenth in Mississippi, Juneteenth at the Devil's Punch Bowl in Natchez, Mississippi on Sunday, June 19th, is the gathering of the great armies. And there is a call for 20,000 armed members from all formations and all groups to be in Mississippi. And there's a national joint training on the 18th before at another private location where all of the commanders and the great trainers, the best trainers in the nation will be there, capping off a whole year of training we're into now. Well, I'm sorry for being so long, OC. But what I'm telling you, black man, is that this is serious, what we're doing. The overall thing is serious. It's not symbolic. This is going according to a political science, and it's being opposed by the government. But the good news tonight is that with this political science of unity that we're putting forward from the new Black Panther Party, that it is absolutely working. It's working and having a great and positive effect on our people. And it will be seen Juneteenth weekend in Mississippi.
Okay. Definitely send me some of those flyers so I can, pass it out, so the right people get it. And so speaking of different organizations, how it is some certain things could get definitely a little messy, but I'm saying sometimes for a reason and a specific reason. But what I want to bring up is the thought of the new age, the modern day COINTELPRO. So when it comes to vetting, different individuals, like what is the best strategy? Like saying for a new person that want to start a group, what is the best strategy with you being in the game for so long to vet these different individuals? Because I know you probably even seen some or even passed some before, of COINTELPRO being a part of, the organization with the Panthers. So what is the best way to actually, vet and make sure that doesn't happen?
That is an excellent question. There's no clear-cut model, but I'll share some experiences with you. When I went to South Africa in 2013, there was a brother who had been in the party for a while, and he all of a sudden showed up before we made our international trip to South Africa to be with the PAC, the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania. It was a strong trip that we were making, and a brother showed up, and he said he was a bounty hunter, but all of a sudden he was back in the party. And my good brother, King Samir Shabazz, he was close with King Samir. I brought King Samir with me over to Africa. And I told King Samir, I said, brother, this ain't right. He don't need to go because something's fishy about him. He's a goddamn bounty hunter. You know what I mean? And when you're a bounty hunter, that means you're paid to capture men for the state to turn them in. So I say, Samir, this ain't right. But anyway, Samir made some kind of argument to me, and the brother ended up going on the trip. And then we was in all kind of private villas and houses in South Africa, and we were real revolutionaries, talking real revolutionary stuff over there. And he's in the house, part of the meeting, but he was suspicious to me. Okay, later on, when we get back, it wasn't but 6 months or so, or however many months later, where he set up King Samir officially on some kind of gun charge, and he was an informant on Samir, and Samir ended up getting either set back on. He set him up on the gun charges. Set him up on the gun charges. Okay, and then Bilal, with the person we talking about, was outed as an agent informant. He hasn't been seen since. So what am I saying? That I sensed it from the beginning because he was a bounty hunter. I believe I have a radar for pigs. I just don't deal with police. Now, I'm not knocking a black man who may have been an ex-police officer or whatnot. I'm not going that route, but I'm just saying for me, I can't afford to deal with any kind of police or any kind of bounty hunters. So I should have known that, and I should have put my foot down. In 2005, there was a big article came out in the Cleveland paper. It was about a guy named Billy X, who was with the Blackstone Rangers. When I first came into the chairmanship of the Panther Party after Khalid Muhammad, all of a sudden a bunch of Blackstone Rangers start coming to our meetings. They had the red berets on, and one of them was supposed to be my cousin. He was my cousin. He kept every second saying, "I'm your cousin, I'm your cousin." And well, I guess he was my cousin. But hell, I ain't seen his ass since. But what was he talking about in 2004 and 5 when they kept coming to us? All they was talking, all that talk. Yeah, we got to kill this. We got to blow up this. And they had on the red berets, and they was all with me. I was their leader, right? And he was suspicious to me, right? A few months later, we reading the Cleveland big paper article came out on the Panther Party, and there's one of the key ones, Billy X. And he's in the paper admitting that he is a police informant. And part of the whole article was about him being a police informant. So when you're in some of these groups and you get the one that's coming in talking the loudest, talking about what they gonna do, talking about what you should do instead of them just doing it, and you get the ones always out here egging on and egging everything on, and when you see signs like that, well, you have to take those signs. So what am I saying, brother? There is official informant and agent action that has been directed at this movement, and it's at the new Black Panther Party, the Nation of Islam, and all groups.
All of them.
Is to be taken seriously. We must, as we have established, a counterintelligence program here, and we can control some of it, but not all of it. Agent activity is something that's always designed to throw doubt or negativity in the organization. When everything's going right, here's somebody that's always saying how it's going wrong. And so it's not always that the person is crazy or demented or jealous or envious. Sometimes many times it's official. It's the policy of the government. But to the person that's either jealous, envious, mentally unstable, that causes all this confusion, but they're not really on the government payroll. But the effect of what they're doing is still the same. It still helps COINTELPRO. Well, they just as guilty as well, as far as I'm concerned. Even if you're not officially on the state payroll, but you're causing similar kind of havoc that COINTELPRO and the FBI and the white man sit back and say, there go them niggas going at it. Go for it. We ain't even got to pay them. We ain't even got to pay them Negroes. Yeah, well, then they part of the problem too. Now, the question you asked is, how do we get rid of it? Brother, actually, I have good news to report. After all we've been through, we're getting rid of some of it. That the leadership is now coming together and putting clamps on this stuff. And it's getting more regulated and more organized. And people that and messy activity and COINTELPRO activity is getting squashed faster than ever in this day and hour.
That's a beautiful thing. I like to hear stuff like that.
It's actually getting better.
Yeah. So just speaking of, because I kind of want to flip that question in a way. So when it comes to actual leaders and generals, because I know you mentioned something on your last broadcast of different generals or leaders coming together to come up with a system or like a code or a code of conduct, perhaps, on how to even act as a leader or a general and things like that. So the question is, I know because I actually seen this actual leader being a part of COINTELPRO, cause confusion and these different things, even within other groups, like just speaking on the whole unity tip, you have a leader that's already with the COINTELPRO, you get in and start to cause this confusion and this mishap. We've seen it in the past, but of course, everything that happened in the past, they could definitely recycle that, but what are some of the code of conduct we can actually have for leaders to say, like, this how to point them out or how to research or whatever it may be?
With leadership, it's a question of how you conduct yourself with other leaders, and are you willing to come to the table with your fellow commanders, and can you humble yourself to sit in a circle with other brothers and sisters to either work towards a common objective or solve issues or even face constructive criticism. That's one way where you can tell the sincerity of leadership. You know, I was happy at one point. It was before Tulsa. I was on the phone with many of these generals. I was on the phone with Brother Grandmaster Jay. I do want to say free Grandmaster Jay, that he should be free from these charges. I want to say that. He should be free from these charges. I was on with General Babu. I was on with Grandmaster Jay, Brother Talib, Batunde, and Fred Hampton Gun Club, and the other generals that had put together Tulsa. And you know, I'm used to running my own operation and calling the orders in my operation, but in that circle, I don't call the orders. I'm just a part of it. Every motion or thing I put forward may not go, or everything may not go my way. And I'm still a good member and good standing at that table, because, you know, and just how I engage with my brothers, they can tell where I'm coming from, and either I'm real, or am I here to bust up the house, or am I ego tripping or whatever. And then by dealing with Malik Zulu Shabazz over some months, they say, this is a guy that we can trust. We want him at the table. And so, you know, I guess the way we find out where everybody's really at is in the course of just being at the table, being in the dialogue, handling a project together, and see how everybody acts. You know, everybody was that I just named that was at that table did not continue at that table. You know, not throwing dispersions on them. We just, you know, it's for different reasons. Some of us went our different ways. But I still say the key is to be at the table. I still say the key is for us as leaders and generals to talk to each other. I still say the way is for us to humble ourselves and accept constructive criticism, and to make some concessions, and to answer questions, and to be available to the public. These are the things that cause other brothers and leaders to trust you, and the people to trust you. And we have to build trust in this hour.
Absolutely. I think that's a great strategy, to really just fill people out, and to have other leaders to fill everybody that makes the same thing. Yeah.
Got to engage, man, so people can feel you and understand you. There's a lot of people that say a lot of stuff and misperceive me and say stuff. So I'm one reason I'm on here. I say, well, call OC, man. Let me engage him, because he's got an audience that I probably need to clarify some things with him, you know, because you're an important voice, and the people that are here are important people.
Appreciate that. Yeah. And, you know, it's hard to really gauge people behind a computer. You know what I mean? So, you know, some of these people, it's kind of hard to tell. So even just speaking of leadership, you know, I just want to point out one thing that I mean, I don't think it's no such thing as a perfect leader, you know. So I think all of our leaders have some flaws and different things that's going on with their life or their old life. You know, moving into today, a lot of people changed their life from the past and doing greater things this current day. You know, some leaders are still kind of dealing with certain things, you know, when it comes to the mental health part. You know what I mean? So I don't think any leader is perfect, you know. But what I can say that can be perfect is the movement, you know, and that's the full movement of the people, you know, on how they are able to, you know, put certain things together and make things move. If you don't mind, give me 1 second. I actually think this is an important phone call from the brother Ozone, you know. So just give me 1 second.
Take it by all means. By all means. me check on my daughter while we're on this.
Bear with us, family. Sticking up. I didn't even know what happened. I tried to answer the call. It just kept on repeating the little machine thing. But anyway.
That's good. We need to stop and talk about him because
absolutely,
he's at the top of our list. Matter of fact, Lord, wasn't it this show? Was it? Anyway, his situation is getting a little messy. You know what I mean? And I would just say this without getting too much into his situation on the air. My proposal for Brother Ozone is that all of the stakeholders in his situation and the important players, we must meet right away so we can try to get this thing straight. I mean, I've been speaking with Sister Amina Oshun from the People's Political Party on the subject matter. And I know he has the mother of his child, and it seemed like you getting a call from him. And it used to, I think Sisters of the Underground still close, but it's not. It's just some stuff that we got to figure out with Ozone.
Absolutely.
Right away, you know what I mean? Right away. I was on the at 2 points. I was on the verge of securing him the proper death penalty team there in Florida. At 2 occasions, I helped. It was 2 attorneys. I'll leave them nameless here. 2 teams that I had pulled together, and that we had cut the deal. The finance was ready, and all of that. And both of those attorneys, right before the deal was to be cut, backed out of the whole deal. Had nothing to do with money. They just backed out because either it was Ozone, because the case was too hot. And those 2 legal deals didn't go through. I mean, they was right on the verge. And then after that, the case kind of got away from me in the other hands, you know. But in terms of securing his counsel, because these 2 legal teams, black death penalty certified attorneys in Florida, did not want to take his case after saying they would take his case. So I guess just to sum it up, I would say we should just off this line, we should get together on Ozone case right away.
So I mean, just because he does have attorneys now.
He does,
but I could definitely, he does. He
got private counsel.
He just secured an attorney just a couple of weeks ago.
Excellent.
But I can connect you with some of the people. You know, I think one of Ozone's mother of the child actually is the power of attorney. You know, so I can definitely connect you with her, and then connect you with the people that has contact with the attorneys and things like that. That's
good. Yeah, we want to monitor his case, and then just make sure he's got his counsel is straight, and then I'm gonna
so it can move in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, then they can make sure he's straight. All right, fine. That's good news.
Yeah.
Don't want to leave here. He's a warrior, man. That brother's a warrior. I don't know what the hell happened out there that day, but I know that he's a warrior, and he's in all of our prayers.
Absolutely. So, and just speaking of him, I'm glad someone just posted this. He definitely still need the funding, you know, for the attorney. You know, it's 45 plus that's collected. We still need a lot more. So definitely go to that website, othu.org. You know, and you can see everything that's going on. It's really transparent. So once you donate, you could be able to see exactly what's going on. So that's othu.org for our brother Ozone. And free Ozone.
Count on us. You can count on the new Black Panther Party and Black Lawyers for Justice for at least 2,000. At least 2,000 right now. Count that in the bank. $2,000 in on the tab. But what we want to do is really raise some more now that we know, because I know that it used to be a certain amount of money available, and then it was down to 45,000. At one point it was 180,000, and if it's back down to 45,000, then we got some real money to raise. But be that as it may, if he has the counsel of his choice, we would be more than happy to host some fundraisers and to use our vehicle. We can do some telethons and get some real money. I mean, we'll give up a couple grand just to get going, but we need to raise, at least from our end, the new Black Panther Party and our efforts in fundraising and pushing. We could probably get about 20 grand thrown in that pot.
Absolutely. Definitely need some more marathons or, fundraisers. I know I did it. I know I did a couple of them, and definitely need other entities to do the exact same thing for our brothers, and definitely way better, So, but yeah. Again, free ozone. Definitely a good brother. It's definitely a good brother. And just going back, just double backing to leadership and not having any perfect, leader. I noticed that there's certain leaders that actually had problems with each other and things like that. With the new, I don't know what to call it, the thing that you want to do with all the leaders, bringing them together. Is there some type of counseling that could actually happen to for everyone's, if I could say, mental state, so it won't be like the messiness that it is in our community. I know certain individuals, they're probably high heads or just different things that's going on with it that make it so easy to clash with each other. You know what I mean? So would it be? I know you have some classes that you're putting together, things like that. But when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to the way that we actually should act, like a certain type of conduct that we should be treating each other, and definitely treating other generals, other leaders and things like that. What are some of the things that you're putting together, if you were not?
That's a hell of a question. I view that as a two-part question. Mental health services for the movement, and the second part of that is how to deal with leadership with mental health issues. Boy, what a question!
There's a lot of PTSD that's going on,
Well,
for a lot of different
I separate it, and I'll tell you this. Now, the people in the movement, first of all, I take mental health services seriously because I have serious experience in the mental health field. I mean, as a professional, as a trainer, as a supervisor, I can tell you all about behavioral health and diagnosis and behavioral support plans and all of that, and ISPs and IEPs and all of that. Okay, so what I'm saying is a serious subject, and in the movement we make a joke out of it, but it's destroying the movement. We say all the time, "Oh man, that nigga crazy. Them niggas crazy," and these niggas have driven us crazy. They have destroyed the organizations and formations, and a lot of this sometimes look like a mess because of this so-called craziness. So what I say here is that we take mental health seriously, and that the mental health program for the members of all the movements, that one of our objectives this year is, we just was on the line with our National Director of Community Programs, Sister Crystal Imamu, and others. And we have been, there has to be therapy and counseling available for certain members in this movement. And there has to be a referral network that can get them help. And there has to be a mandate on the leadership that when a person needs mental health help, that they will get it, that they don't allow to just remain in the ranks and cause havoc, but that they get the help that they need, and that we have either the direct help they need or the referral that they need. But overall, we take it seriously. All the nigga crazy, and we don't do nothing about it, and everything's getting wrecked and people getting hurt. That's for the rank and file. Now let's go to leadership. Should I be trying to negotiate with a leader that has an obviously mental health impairment, or to the point that he can't negotiate, or he's a hothead, is explosive, or he's going off? Now, I'm not sending that leader to no counselor, no therapy, because he ain't going to listen to me no how. He's his own general. He's his own leader. Those leaders that are suffering from either may not be mental illness, or could be, but it could be more so behavioral disorders. Behavioral disorder. Fuck everybody. I'm my own general. I do what the fuck I want. I fuck who I want. I do what I want. You know what happens with these cats? They are destroying themselves. They are because of this process that you're watching us go through, where we're consolidating the serious leaders with the stable minds and people that really want to do right, and they're coming together. What's happening is that the behavioral problems are starting to stick out like a sore thumb. When yesterday they were the norm. Today it's like, brother, what are you doing? How do you do that? And so the leaders with behavioral problems or really shouldn't be over formations because they just causing so much chaos. What are they doing? They're out there self-destructing. They're out there self-destructing because the decisions that they made is now just coming to collapse on their head. The people that they cussed out or the people that they dogged out, all the bad decisions they made, it's like a political karma coming back. Now nobody wants to deal with it. Now there's a block of leaders. It ain't just individual. There's a block of people that say they will not deal with you. And I don't want to be on the other side of that block, you know, because this block is getting stronger. You see, I see you serious about you're a host, but you're more than a host. You got leadership questions on your mind. So you know, if 50 commanding officers, if 50 commanding officers of organizations get together and say, these are the protocols. This is the way we're going to operate. This is what we're going to tolerate, and this is what we ain't going to tolerate. Well, how the hell is a sore thumb going to survive? How the hell a rebel going to survive? If we put an order out, if we put a united order out and say, now, look, this person here has been busted for misconduct in this group. He's been busted for misconduct in that group. And now we are going to take back his revolutionary operating license. We are going to sign a united order saying he can't operate because he has abused the trust and went on the computer, made him a banner because he got busted for legitimate reasons. Now, for being a goddamn fool, we say, well, now I'm my own general. I'm going to make up some new hell. I'm going to be the Black Panther boogie. And we and then we just gonna unite and just shut your ass down, straight up. Just unite and just shut it down, dog. Because that's the time, man. We don't have no more time to play. This ain't no Facebook game. This ain't no like game. This ain't no get your self-esteem back, be somebody for the first time in your life game. This is the liberation struggle. This is something that we got one chance to try to get right for our babies before we die. Ain't nobody got time to play games with this. This is not a joke. This ain't no popularity contest. This is a life and death struggle we in. And so things is getting more serious, brother. And the behavioral problems amongst leaders, if you have a mental health problem, you're going to have to sit down voluntarily or you will be sat down. You know, and I it's not going to be me. It's going to be a whole team. I just want to be in good standing with the team. I just try to be humble myself and not try to mess up myself. That's all. Because it's coming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So is it fair, excuse me, is it fair to say that, you know, unfortunately, we just can't unify with everybody?
That's true. No, you can't unify with everybody, but you can unify with like minds and people that have the same value system. You know, there's a brother I love. His name is Brother Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle I just met him recently, but I study him intensely. He's a former infantryman, and he's one of the commanders of the Black Power Coalition, and he's a hell of a trainer, and he has a hell of a value system, and so we get along well because. You know, he's checked me on a few things. I've been in the soldier field with some of my soldiers and some things went wrong. And he helped me to get my operation better and I helped him. And so, yeah, like minds. That's what we into, my brother. Like minds and like value systems. And see, when those come together, the rest won't matter. See, well, you don't have to have everybody together. All you have to have is a critical mass of leadership, a critical block. If you get a critical block of leadership, the people are gonna holler and say Black Power because this thing is coming together. It's happening in 2022. Not only is it happening, it's gonna be on display in Mississippi on Juneteenth weekend. You know, and all of these things we going through right now is how we getting straight. You know, other things that are going on with training intensity. There's a lot of training. You know, there's been a lot of weapons shown out here, but there's not a lot of training behind it. It was defects and all of that. And so heavily now. And this last weekend, there was four trainings in different parts of the nation by Huey P. Newton Gun Club, Desert Eagle and his forces, New Black Panther Party. There's several more trainings. Lion of Judah was training the other week. And then there's a big one, February 19th. So what I'm saying is, and then you got competition shooters and professionals that I'm now becoming familiar with, serious professionals that are training these soldiers so they're not out here just untrained. So this will be the heaviest, seriously professional training year in the history of the armed movement, as I see it. It's going to be the heaviest training year. And we just need to unite, you know. We need to unite, and the leaders that are on the same page, we come together, we make strong history this year.
Absolutely. I love to hear that. I love that. Absolutely. So I have to bring this up. And this respectfully, and this out of love. And this is a setup question too. I just want to let you know.
Whatever it is.
So so it was a split, you know, and you mentioned this earlier in the Panthers, in the New Black Panther Party. So it's almost like it's two different divisions in the Black Panther Party. I think the split happened around the time that God rest the dead, you know, or should I say the living souls, Hashim Nzinga, you know, was basically supposed to be over the full New Black Panther Party. I think it was a rip then, you know. So it was another. I don't know how many rips or whatever, but it's something that happened. What I would love to see actually is these three entities all come together, you know, because when I hear the New Black Panther Party, I only hear like one side, you know. It seems to be another side. So if you can kind of describe exactly what's going on. And
that's a hell of a question, and we're gonna get into it for the record. When I was the chairman of the New Black Panther Party, there was one New Black Panther Party, and there were very few other formations out there. I think you had the Revolutionary Black Panther Party was in some cities with Brother Ali Muhammad, and there were a few others, but it wasn't. At the time that I transferred the chairmanship to Hashim Nzinga after 13 years, is when, for lack of a better word, is when everybody went for it. Whatever they were seeking or whatever dissatisfaction they had or ideas they had, everybody went for it. And it was mixed results. Okay, it was mixed results. Some bad, some good, some bad. Since 2013, when Brother Hashim became the chairman and he was contested in the chairmanship, you had Sister Crystal Muhammad, who was my chairperson in Houston and a Southern Regional Representative. She challenged for the leadership. She declared herself to be the chairperson of the Panther Party. She made a move at some point. At another point, I think she was the head, from what they tell me, of the People's New Black Panther Party before that blew out. And then she said she was the head of the New Black Panther Party, and she ran a faction, and that split. And then also in that time, in the emergence you had last 7 years, I think quickly emerging in 2014, you had Huey P. Newton Gun Club emerged. Then, even at another point, it was a People's New Black Panther Party emerged. And then later down the line, you even had Panther. They had another Panther group former minister in defense in the new Black Panther Party. A.J. Frazier is a minister of defense under, I think at one point, Crystal Muhammad and then Hashim Nzinga. And then I think when he left Hashim Nzinga, he formed PANSOC, Panther Special Operations. Okay. So then you had just a lot of other groups just out here. Just everybody kind of went for it. Okay. So I say it was mixed results. Okay. So the better results that I see in the process, there are some good ones. I definitely say the Huey P. Newton Gun Club was definitely a progressive innovation since I was the chairman, because Omar Wali put armed training on the map. He basically put self-defense and training for self-defense as a principle and a value system on the map. And so Huey P. Newton Gun Club is just emergence is much appreciated. And then they give life to us right now in guidance in the training arena. Well, let's look at PANSOC, Panther Special Operations. Well, A.J. Frazier is my brother, and Special Operations is a nice innovation, because that's really, we went to rescue people in Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Actually, Sister Crystal Muhammad and I did that mission together. Operations is something up to Panther Alley, but PANSOC is trying to specialize there. That's good diversity. We need that. In the new Black Panther Party, my policy today is that there should be one new Black Panther Party. And that's the way it's going. Very honestly, there should be one and one only new Black Panther Party. And there should be a united Black Power movement. Based on me moving on the principles of unity and doing what I do as a leader, the new Black Panther Party is largely one operation right now. I'm not going to speak to anyone else's status of their operation, because I don't want to seem like I'm throwing down on nobody. But I can tell you that my specific announced goal is to reunite the Panther Party, and it's being very successful. That many from different factions are split or left because of different either dissatisfaction, have gained confidence in the leadership that I'm offering, and they're coming home. And it's a good thing. And so a lot of the factions are just drying up because it doesn't make sense. Why would you want to be a member of a 3 or 4 or 5 person faction when you got 40 cities and we all working together, not just with the Panthers, but with other organizations? And so this is a good thing here. I mean, things are showing up, brother. Things are showing up and getting better. Factionalism is dying, and I make no pretensions that I'm here to try to end factionalism in the movement. And, fractions, as Khalid Muhammad said, you try to bring them to a common denominator. You have all them big numbers, but you want to bring it down to smaller numbers. We don't all have to be in the same organization. We don't have to think like, but it's going to be less organizations. We don't need 200 damn generals and organizations. It need to be down to about 20. And we all need to work together and make them organizations better. Things are getting better. That's all I can tell you. And I'm forcing and fighting for it to get better.
I feel that. So I feel like I heard the answer, but I'm going to go ahead and ask this anyway. And like you say, for the record, are you able to hash out everything there? Because I know y'all had a history and things like that, different things, words was passed on to each other or whatever. Are you able to hash out everything that you had with Crystal Muhammad and actually build unity with that other group, of New Black Panther Party? Are you able to hash out everything and come together as one? No matter if you reaching out to her, her reaching out to you,
That's an interesting question, and I have to see what God says on that. On the part of her members, I would say that a lot of it has been hashed out. That a lot of her Sister Omina Oshun and those who formed the People's Political Party, well, they were some of Sister Muhammad's top officers. Mm-hmm. And so I've always had respect for Amina Oshun and her writing capabilities, even though they were doing some things that opposed, I guess, some things that I had put in place. But we patched it up, and now we helping each other and talking to each other like we got sense. I'm talking about of those that were really with Crystal Muhammad. Some of them, not I don't speak for all of them. To the others who were with Sister Crystal Muhammad, I mean, they're my Panther brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? They're my Panther brothers and sisters. Now with Sister Crystal Muhammad, who's a courageous Black woman. Let me get it wrong. Now she has exemplified some things in her career of value. Remember, because I'm the one that, I like to brag sometimes, or I guess get blamed. I'm the one that brought her into the movement in 2004, into the Black Panther movement. She's a camera woman. She's a Nation of Islam working that camera in Houston when I came and recruited my sister, and she's a courageous Black woman, and she has talents and she has some challenges. Just in the way that she started doing what she did some painful things to me and said some painful things about me and alleged and wrote and put some painful things, against me in order to try to claim that she was the chairwoman. And I do have some pain behind that. I do have some feelings behind what was done. So I won't say that I wouldn't talk. I would. I'm always open for diplomacy with anybody but my enemy, my true enemy, So I would be open to discuss it, but I do have some feelings and I do have some principled pain because it's cost me a lot to try to come out here and try to fix all this stuff. This was a mess out here, and it's cost me a lot of time to try to get stuff back together. And I felt like when everybody went for their leadership, when everybody said, well, Shabazz, he ain't the chairman no more, and everybody went for their stuff, what pissed me off is they just didn't call me on the phone. I got issues with what you're doing. I got issues with you appointing Hashim and Zingo, or why you doing this? Call me. Ain't nobody called me. Everybody just showed what their intentions was. They just went for the title. I'm not speaking on her specifically. People went for the title and the power, and then what they do is they get out there and they start thinking that just because you write something down on a paper and just because you make somebody a big appointment that they're gonna be with you. But what happens is when you start anything on a basis of dissatisfaction and you start a group based on dissatisfaction with others, those who you train are going to soon, at some point, become dissatisfied with you because you have taught them that dissatisfaction is the basis of their action. So what am I saying is eventually, if you ain't got it together and you really ain't the leader that you saying that you are, eventually it's going to collapse on you at some point in time. This ain't nothing to play with. This ain't nothing that you just take upon yourself. This is a serious situation when you're trying to say that you're going to supervise and lead our people. It can destroy yourself and destroy others. So so therefore, to all of Sister Crystal Muhammad's followers, I don't have no bad opinion on that one of them, and I even have some respect for Muhammad and some pain behind Muhammad. I have some respect for Crystal Muhammad and some pain behind Muhammad, but I do know, as I told her, that I'm pretty much duty bound to sit with her and discuss our differences or discuss our situation, even if we don't come to an agreement. At some point, I'm sure that we will, or that I will. And that goes for anybody else. That goes for anybody else out there, that I'm not above formal diplomacy.
Okay.
Formal diplomacy. And I will say, I do want to also say, brother, that of everything I've said tonight, I'm sure that I have made some mistakes. I'm sure that, just as you said, we can't demand perfection out of leadership. I know for a fact that it's maybe things that I could have done differently. Sure, I will admit to that. But I will say right now that that I'm qualified to do this job. Like, man, I don't volunteer for this. Look, I'm sitting here in my law office, right? This is what I do. for a living, okay? I came off of just doing this and Black Lawyers for Justice to come back into all of that. And it ain't paying no checks out. And all that. So people, you know, they kind of I do this as a sacrifice. I do this, man, because I really love Black people, and I love like you. Like I want to see you be successful, and all these others, man. I'm doing this out of love, and therefore I think that I can be trusted because I'm putting a lot on the line for this.
I mean, it's a lot to say for just the longevity itself. You know, I mean, over 30 years. You know, in this Black Power movement. So that's something beautiful all by itself. Because a lot of people in this movement, you see them today, they're gone tomorrow.
And it's not easy. So things come at you. Things can come at you and knock you out of here fast.
For real, for many different reasons. You know, so I don't want to keep you too long, but I think someone had a question. I feel I know the answer to it. And I'm gonna say the answer. But if you have a different answer, you know,
okay. What's the question?
The question is, what's the end goal? And my simple answer is freedom, our freedom, and self-determination. But you know,
what's the end goal? And you're right, brother. We got the end goal, and we have high goals. Not only freedom and self-determination, but our goal and my goal will be until I leave out of here is I want self-determination, and I want a separate land and territory of my own for Black people after reparations for what white people have taken from me. That is what I want. I want full and demand full and complete reparations. I want a separate land and territory of my own. I recognize that we are currently a nation within a nation. And therefore, right now, there's a whole lot of end goals that we can do to build up our nation within our nation. We must build up our movement. Our movement gets us to our goals. Our organization and our movement gets us to our goals. So we don't become frustrated and say, where we all going? We know where we're going. I announce where we're going. Well, how are we going to get there? We're going to get there by having us a strong party, a strong movement. We're going to get there by, say, Sisters of the Underground. I want to give a shout out to Sisters of the Underground. They just announced the Melanin Alert. And so the Melanin Alert, and this is a Black-run group searching for missing persons. Well, what do we do, brother? I mean, we can spend 5 years just focusing on building up the missing persons network with Sisters of the Underground. Because if we build up that missing persons network, all of them families and kids who appreciate that work by them Panther women, they're going to join the movement. That's not only helping our people, but it's building the movement. What can we do? Well, there's in this Black movement, there's all these soldiers out here, right? Let's just say that there are maybe on 2,000 of them that are really proficiently trained in self-defense, armed in hand-to-hand combat, maybe 2,000. Well, how many need to be trained? How many Black youth out there need to be converted from Crip blood to jailhouse? How many of them need to be converted to a Black Power organization? How many of them need the boots and fatigues on? How many of them need to be trained so that their weapons ain't just randomly killing Black people, but they getting trained in the Black Army? Well, I could see 2 million. So I don't ever think like, well, what's the end goal? I'm thinking about how I'm gonna get this shit. I'm trying to take 2,000 Black men and convert them to 2 million. So I don't never run short on a vision, you know, or how to get there, man. You know what I mean? It's the person that asks that, every Black man we can find, we should be looking to train them up and suit them up and keep them out of the jailhouse and get them into the Black Army and into the Black movement, because that's helping us to build this thing that we got called Black nationalism that's going to get us out of this condition. I mean, so it's just work, man. We focus not on quitting the work or whether the work gonna work. We focus on doing the work, and there's lots of work to do. Finding missing persons, raising up Black people, teaching, educating, Oh, there's an endless amount of work to do that is very much needed and satisfactory. Yeah, we helping our people who you listen. Well, what's the end goal? The direct goal right now, help your people right now. You don't believe we're going to get a state and a territory and all of that. There's somebody black out there suffering right now. There's some kid that needs a mentor, a strong black man as a mentor. Just work, brother. We're going to have to work. And ain't nobody giving it to us. We got to work, but it's a good work. And it's a divine work. It's a work from Almighty God. And I'm blessed and to be here in this hour to help do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely so many layers to this, So,
Yeah.
And just very, very last question, just to add on to something that you said to get the better understanding or overstanding. Having our own territory, I know you mentioned demanding that, but what if they say no? And in fact, hell no, which they said no to the 40 acres and a mule type of situation. And you don't have to say exactly what you would do if you don't want to, or exactly what we should do as a people. But what if you are able to answer that? If they would say no to our demands, what would be the very next step?
Okay, the mere fact that we could get to a point where we could collectively make a demand that would receive a no from the United States government would mean that we probably have achieved many great victories already. Okay, the 10-point program of the Black Panther Party and the new Black Panther Party calls for a plebiscite. It means a national vote amongst our people about where we want to go. Not just Malik, Shabazz, but it's a national vote. So if we're stating here that this movement, that this Black Power movement, just say hypothetically, would replace Black Lives Matter in influence, even though we wouldn't be helped by the media. Just say they got so strong that everywhere that they was talking about the Black Power movement, the Black Panthers, because they finding missing kids, they helping Black kids out of jail, they training people for self-defense, they confronting this enemy, they training our people, they confronting white supremacy, and just say the masses of Black people really started to like this. And we really got to a point where we could say to the United States government that we are a body of leaders and that we represent 5 or 10 million. We represent a whole block of our people. If we even got to that point, brother, whether they say no to giving us the state of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, that wouldn't be my greatest problem. Because we would already have gotten our situation together. We got a certain amount of masses of our people believing in what we're doing, and so therefore we're gonna already at that point be owning and controlling Black businesses and the Black economy like never before. We already gonna have the fundamental steps of self-determination based on our position from being a nation within a nation before we make the ultimate step. And so then if we get to that ultimate step and the United States government say, well, we ain't going to do it, well, we'll see. And I'm not getting mysterious about it, but we'll see what God has to say about that. Because if we come up out of this condition to that level, the Bible that I read says that God will take the kingdom from whom he pleases, and he will give the kingdom to whom he pleases. The America is under divine chastisement. America looks strong on one day and is weakened on another day. As America is lashed by plagues and storms, we must also understand that there's a power of Mayat on our side, and there's a power of circumstance and the forces of nature on our side. And we must understand that if we get our act together, that God and the Most High will chastise America, will break up America, will destroy America even further if she does not let her people go. That scripture we talking about is real. Let my people go. So I dream of the day that the 12 tribes get their act together. I pray for the day that the children of Israel rise up to the point where Pharaoh's got to stop us from leaving up out of here, because we are going to have we're going to have intervention. And then the white man is in nowhere near as stable as he appears to be. So if they don't give it up, it might have to be taken from them. And also, we got plenty of brothers and sisters in Africa. And we got plenty of land and territory in Africa. And we got plenty of territory in the West Indies. And also, we have the capacity as a nation within a nation to command a certain amount of this territory right now. Much of this is old sovereign territory to us, because not only was we brought here on slave ships, but we were here before the ships came. We are the indigenous people as well. So you can't count us out from this land and from certain treaties here. We just haven't organized to get it. And still, if we trapped as a nation within a nation, hell, if I'm controlling $2 trillion of a $2 trillion economy, if I'm taking back my people out of the pocket, if I'm doing like Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey and putting me some ships on the high seas and building me some black businesses and all of that, well, I ain't doing too bad. So brother, I mean, you know, maybe I don't see it in my lifetime, but I'm going to work hard to lay the base in my lifetime. And I'm going to see a lot of it in my lifetime.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I love the way you answered that. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and again, you know, thank you for actually coming on the platform, blessing the platform with your presence and showing your knowledge and wisdom. You know, I know a lot of us definitely need that in many different ways. So I do want to give you the floor to say whatever you would like to say, you know, and we got to work. We got to do more deeds, or, you know, we got to do some work together. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much. I
Absolutely.
look forward to talking with you offline and getting some of your ideas. I see you as you have a strategic mind for our people. I love the dialogue with you about where we're going as a nation. I'm honored to be on your show. I'll come back at any time. My text, for those who are watching, my text is 202-699-1046, 699-1046 if you want to be a part of this movement. Also, here in my law office, I do fight. We get into it another time. I fight police cases and civil rights cases. I'm serious about what I do. And my number up here is 301-513-5445 at the law office of Malik, Shabazz, and Black Lawyers for Justice. I'm thankful for just getting to know me better. Thank you so much, brother. This is an important audience. Thank you for giving me the time. I love you, black man, and I love you, black people.
Love you too. Peace and
Paul.
blessings.
Like Paul.
All right. That was our brother, Malik Zulu Shabazz, general attorney. You know, hopefully excuse me. Hopefully I enjoyed that, you know, like I did, you know. There's some very much that was needed to say for us to know and understand, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we will have more of these, or we'll chop it up more with the brother. You know, when it comes to unity, that's a very important piece. But just as we said, we can't unify with everybody. There's some people out there, as y'all seen, especially with this platform, the different individuals that we should not be unifying with, that we should do a better job with vetting and know exactly how to deal with these particular people, you know, and move forward, rightfully so. So, you know, I'm gonna thank y'all for tuning in, coming by, and man, this I enjoyed this episode. Like, how y'all feel about it? You know, matter of fact, put fire emojis in the chat if you are. Matter of fact, no, put the black fist in the chat if you really enjoyed this episode here and you want more episodes like this, talking to different individuals, different leaders in the community. Let me see the black fist in the chat. Let me see it. You know, and by the way, if you are a leader in any way, or if you have any ideas and you have a group of people that you're leading, you know, definitely come to this platform. Let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about it. Let's get the information out there. This is black media. We have our own propaganda. We have to utilize it. You know, we have to use it in many different ways. So I see a lot of black fists, people that really enjoy this broadcast today, and definitely support our brother Malik Zulu Shabazz, the OG in the game. You know, he one of those. He one of those. You know, and go get this book, the Book of Khaled, right here. See how thick it is. A lot of good information in there. It's a lot of good stories. So I'm gonna say, peace to the guys. So we'll be back here Wednesday. We'll just have an open broadcast. The people can actually come up on the platform. We could talk about different things, you know. So it will be an open discussion. It's coming on Wednesday, so definitely tune in for that. So still saying Black Fist, you know, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this broadcast today. Thank y'all for coming by. Till next time, peace to the guys. And we out.